A peaceful day on the Chobe River in Botswana, Africa. Majestic beasts are drawn to the river's bounty. But in the distance, the water begins to churn. Something is speeding towards a boat full of people. What is it? Is it a crocodile? A whale? Hang on. How does a doughboy hippo torpedo through the water? Hippos are about as streamlined as a semi. But look at that donut dynamo go. So how do hippos swim so fast? There are two types of hippopotamus in Africa. The pygmy hippo and its much larger cousin, the common hippo. These magnificent beasts spend 2/3 of their day wallowing in water. But if you ever go hippo spotting, be careful. They're extremely dangerous. In fact, hippos kill more humans each year than great white sharks and lions combined. These guys are lethal. So we're keeping our distance. To find out how hippos swim so fast, we're safely on the right side of a 3.5-inch thick glass at Cincinnati Zoo to study Fiona. No, not her. Her, America's most famous hippo. Fiona was born 6 weeks premature, but beat the odds and became an internet sensation.
We loved watching her grow up from a preemie into the hippo she is now.
She's one of the greatest animals at the zoo.
I think she's adorable. I'm completely obsessed.
Fiona now lives happily in the tank with Mum Bibi, and watching over both is zookeeper Jenna Wingate.
Come here, Fee. Fiona takes a lot after her mom in the fact that she is sassy and knows what she wants, and she can be a little bit bossy. We like to use the word diva for both of them.
Given they eat lettuce all day, you'd think Fiona and Bibi would look like skinny supermodels. But they're built more like heavyweight boxers. Below their 2-inch thick waterproof skin, there's not much fat, it's just dense muscle. That's right, hippos are ripped. The result is hippos weigh a lot. One even topped the scales at a whopping 9,000 pounds. The same as not one, but 2 SUVs. So they sink like a stone.
Most mammals, including humans, float in the water, but hippos actually sink because they're so dense.
Sinking's terrible for swimming fast. So do hippos have a super secret technique? Webbed feet? Flippers? A hippo propeller, maybe? No. These hippos aren't swimming at all. Look, they're walking.
Hippos spend about 16 hours or so a day in the water, but hippos can't actually swim.
Yes, believe it or not, hippos can't swim. But they can run really, really fast, hitting speeds of up to 20 miles an hour on land. When they hit the water, they sink to the riverbed, still charging as fast as the fastest Olympians. Back at the zoo, watching Fiona and Bibi reveals another secret to hippos' amazing aquatic speed. The water supports part of their immense weight. Hippos are effectively living in a microgravity environment. One push and they bounce, like aquatic astronauts, covering a huge distance with each stride. You've heard of the moonwalk. This is the hippo hop. It's one small step for hippos, but one giant leap for hippo kind.
It just takes a little bit of their strength to push off the bottom, and they can soar through the water. Some of the most fun things to see Fiona and Bibi do is what we call kind of a dance or a ballet. A lot of the times underwater, they'll do different twirls and spins. Or one of my favorite is when they'll push off the bottom, come up really high, and then just sink really slowly back down. Fiona's really fun to watch doing that. She just kind of looks around while she does it and then just sinks to the bottom.
They look like gentle giants in the tank, but in the wild, supported by the water, they use their immense muscle power to gallop and turn themselves into terrifying killer torpedoes. A fearsome sight from nature's most unexpected aquatic speedster. Coming up, a gravity-defying reptile and a death-defying jellyfish. Somewhere in these massive rainforests in South America, there's a heavenly creature that's performing miracles. The basilisk, better known as the Jesus lizard. Why is it called the Jesus lizard? Because these little guys can walk on water. There are 4 types of Jesus lizard, and these wholly remarkable reptiles can scurry across surfaces of ponds and streams for up to 15 feet without sinking. Is this divine intervention, or is science at play? How do Jesus lizards walk on water? Jesus lizards spend most of their time in the trees, but are never far from water. When predators get close, they've come up with an almighty method to make a weird but miraculous getaway. Jesus lizards are too heavy to skim on the surface like insects. Instead, they churn their legs like windmills at 5 feet per second. As the foot strikes the water, their long toes spread out, creating pockets of air. Gathering enough speed, they use the temporary air pockets like stepping stones, pushing themselves forward across the water. Strong hind legs also help the basilisk to not only run upright, but to lift their feet before the water pulls them down. A human would have to run at 65 miles an hour to achieve this almighty feat. So, unless we start running the 100 meters in 3.4 seconds, we'll have to leave the miracles to this little guy. What an extraordinary fellow. Coming up, a jellyfish with the secret to everlasting life. The quest for eternal life has captured our imaginations for thousands of years. And it turns out you don't need to be Doctor Who or a blood-sucking vampire to live forever. Just a jellyfish. These glimmering creatures burst on the scene 250 million years before the dinosaurs. And while most jellyfish live and die, one particular species can skip the whole dying part. This is the aptly named immortal jellyfish. Not only does it not die, it can actually age backwards. And when it gets too young, it gets old again. What we have here is a whole species of Benjamin Buttons, hopping between baby and adult, adult to baby, then back to adult again. The immortal jellyfish just keeps on not dying. So how do jellyfish live forever? The immortal jellyfish is found in nearly all the world's oceans. They start life the old-fashioned way. A cloud of sperm randomly collides with an egg front. Most will be eaten. But if the few that make it to adulthood face injury or starvation, they can become young again in an amazing way. The immortal jellyfish transforms into a blob-like cyst. This then settles on the sea floor, where it develops into a polyp colony, the first stage in jellyfish life. It's like a butterfly crawling back inside the cocoon to become a caterpillar again. This polyp colony can then spawn hundreds of genetically identical baby jellyfish, perfect copies of the original adult. In just 30 days, the rejuvenated jellyfish are ready to start the whole thing over again. In theory, this process can go on and on, and on and on, and on, and on, forever. Names vanish, civilizations fall, but this jellyfish keeps rolling for thousands, maybe millions of years. Scientists are now trying to unlock its secrets to immortality. They hope it will allow us to renew our damaged or dead tissue. So perhaps one day, we too will live forever. But be warned, you may have to go through diapers all over again.